Welcome to another Commerce Snacks. And today we will shift the focus and we're talking about B2B and the movement into Omnichannel in B2B. So over the last years, there has happening quite a lot of things in B2B. We have seen that the customer expectations have been changing and increasing. We have seen new technology pushing the limits for B2B. We are seeing the workforce are changing to younger persons coming in the decision maker positions. We also see the pandemic push that have forced a lot of B2B to move much more rapidly into new areas and especially in digital areas here. And we also see that in different kind of reports and studies from Salesforce and McKinsey that there is a willingness to spend much more in B2B on more complex products, on larger orders. So it's not just those smaller products, spare parts, but even those more complex configurations, products has now a place in B2B and e-commerce market.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Dan, the omnichannel aspect is actually moving in now to the B2B space. We find that decision makers now have identified a very evident split of combining three different channels. You still have in-person selling. We have the more remote kind of sales approach where you jump on a Teams call and you're more familiar and comfortable in doing those kind of follow-up calls and interactions with clients. And we have digital sales channels. That is your traditional e-commerce solution. That could be your customer portal. It could be EDI or punch-out solutions even. And we find that these studies show that if you combine and succeed in combining channels in an omnichannel perspective in B2B with these three perspectives, the customer expectations are much easily met when combining channels. So customers are willing to spend more, as you said. They're also more willing to retain and stay with your business.
And you're likely to increase your market share if you're doing this.
That's correct. And we also find when looking at it from a global perspective that nowadays companies are actually expanding into new markets. More often are they offering digital sales channels instead of in-person selling. So we find out that they've actually surpassed each other. So digital sales channels is now the more preferred choice than actually in-person selling.
And that is actually a very huge trend shift we are seeing in different kind of studies. And what about our insights? What we are seeing is that over the last years, had been a huge increase in B2B investments in e-commerce and in customer portals to meet the customers' new expectations and etc. And especially in portals then, and that could be both say basic portals where you just have an e-commerce with a login and you offer sales possibilities and order history and those kinds of quite small solutions, etc. Something that you can start with, but also that customers have invested in more advanced portals. And when I mean advanced portals is that you have more capabilities that you offer the customer. And that could be taking care of account management, it could be sales, it could be service, support, financial information, insights, and all, but also that this is role-based, because the amount of people that are involved in a procurement has also increased from 5, 7 to 10 there as well. So it's quite important that the information that you offer is also role-based to the different kind of persons.
And tying back to the omnichannel perspective, we see that companies nowadays adapt this hybrid selling model around perhaps the customer portal, more advanced customer portal that we just discussed, are succeeding really well. So an example could be, from a sales perspective, you could configure in the back end these more advanced and more complex high-ticket items, upload it to the portal. You can jump on a remote call together with the client, and the client can see in the same kind of UI the configuration that has happened, and you can more easily and without the need of sending emails and things back and forth.
So what you're saying,
effective,
more replacing the old quote process,
yes,
and like doing that digital and faster instead.
Yes, exactly. And so you could see this hybrid selling model actually coming to life through these more advanced customer portals actually.
So what we're seeing that customer are, what's their direction, their strategy, and that is not to replace the in-person with digital or remote. Is more how can you combine those three? How can you create sales tools in the portal so the salesperson can be more efficient and have more time for working on the right customers, but also serving the customers digitally in a more efficient way. Yeah. And that could be like, as you said, in the portal, but it could also be other tools like chatbots, survey tools, guided selling tools, and much more.
Exactly.
So that is this hybrid selling model is something that a lot of companies are striving for. So what we are seeing is that Omnichannel is very fast coming to B2B, and customer portal is one important thing regarding that.
Yes, and we will have a webinar coming up on December 7th, where we will actually deep dive more into the topic of customer portals. So I hope to see you then to discuss more about the area of customer portals.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.